Hey, welcome to Classic Performance, and we're here in Ocala, Florida, beautiful Central Florida, at none other than Big Daddy Don Garlits Drag Racing Museum. So we're going to give you a look around this amazing place, take a look at some of the early Swamp Rabbit cars, just some of the different iterations of drag racers as they evolved through the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. Take a look at some funny cars, take a look at some just amazing one-off cars, and all kinds of crazy things. So we're gonna cover as much as we can, give you a tour of this amazing place here in Ocala, Florida, and pay tribute to Don Garlits and Shirley Moe Downey and some of the other very famous drag racers. So come on, let's take a tour and look at some of the cars. All right, so we're here in the museum, and this is Swamp Rat number 1. So this is Don's first car, Chrysler Firepower Hemi with 8 one-barrel carburetors on a Y-end intake. And here you are sitting all the way in the back of this car. And the one thing that is unique about these front-engine dragsters is where the rear axle and the differential is. And if you come down here and look in the seats, the differential is right there. So your legs go over the pumpkin, so to speak. So if that thing comes apart, you're in trouble. And this car right here is a world record setter, 1957, and this car ran 176 miles an hour at a 8.79 elapsed time. So top speed about 180 miles in this car, and you're sitting right here at home with the tires and the rear end and the engine in front of you. And another thing too, if this engine came apart or oil or something, I mean, very dangerous. So anyway, Big Daddy Don Garlits Swamp Rat number 1. So we advance up here a little bit to 1962, and this is Swamp Rat 4-B, and it is actually, you can see from the model here, which is a very nice model, but this is actually a small block Chevy 327 car, and you know, very easy to tell by the Siamese exhaust manifolds here on the head and the 4-bolt valve covers, and of course it has your Roots style blower on it, and I don't know what size blower that is, 671 or probably a 671, might be an 871, but doesn't really say what the size of the blower, but still a front engine car, still using the front engine cars in 62. And here again is a look at the cockpit. You know, there's your seat, you come up and you look right here, and your legs go over the rear end, and your feet go down there, and the drive shaft splits right between your feet. So very dangerous operation, and he had to have some big gonads to drive a car like that, and Big Daddy Don Garlits sure did. You know, when we looked at Swamp Rat 4B, this is Swamp Rat 4, so this is Don Perdone's Swamp Rat with the Hemi engine in it, still a front engine car. And I really like the front engine cars. They're very cool looking, but obviously very, very dangerous. This is Gary Cochran's car over here. Just a great collection of front drive cars. You can see the name of Pete Robertson, Connie Coletta, another very famous name, and this is a Ford motor. This is a Ford 427 single overhead cam motor, which would have been the same motor that was used in NASCAR and in the Boss 429 Mustangs. So Ford powered, and of course this blue one over here is Ford powered, and you can kind of see where the ignition wires go on the top of the valve cover, whereas on the Hemis over here, you can see the ignition wires go directly in the center of the valve covers. But really just some very nasty motors back in the day. And Ford built these single overhead cam SOCH motors for NASCAR and for drag racing. and then homologated them on the street by stuffing them in the 69 Boss 429 Mustangs, which were handled by Carcraft, if you remember that story. And you know, as drag racing was evolving, all the crazy things that would happen. This is a twin engine, one here, one over there, a twin engine, what they call a dual engine Buick. These are two 1957 467 cubic inch Buicks V8s combined for a total of, I guess that would be 934 cubic inches total. And this car right here, with this very short wheelbase, ran 173.47 miles an hour at Long Beach on pump gas, gasoline injection, and the elapsed time was 8 seconds, 8.69 seconds. Again, this is a rear seater, and interestingly enough, you looked at the rear end, and this is shifted over, so your legs would go on either side of the steering wheel here, so the rear end of this car is beside your left leg. Good looking car here from 1973. This is Swamp Rabbit number 19, and this car ran 247 at 5.78 seconds. Of course, Wynn's Friction Proof, a very popular sponsor back in the day, and of course Dodge, and the traditional Hemi here. We're making it up to 1980 with Swamp Rat 25. This is kind of the first attempt. It's some ground effects and a little bit of aerodynamics in the front here that you can see. And this car ran 251 miles an hour at a 5.75 second time. And of course, you know, cockpit forward now, engine in the back. And this is a Hemi designed engine, and it is a Mooneyham blower on the top here, probably if I had to guess, a 871 blower with fuel injection, and got a little wing up top here too. You know, aerodynamics are coming in, and you know, the wings are starting, and they'll get even bigger. So if we look right down here to Swamp Rat 24, this is a 78, 79, called the Blue Streak, and this car runs a K&B Dodge 427 while it ran in 78 and 79, and this car ran 252 at 5.70 seconds. Here's a look at you know, some of the damage here when you get a blower to blow, and you can see how it cracks the intake right here. This is your clutch, and you get a blowout here on this clutch scatter shield, and you can just see how it just tears this metal up and those parts come out of there. So very dangerous. And if you think about when you were sitting behind the engine and that scatter shield right there blows and blows a hole in it like this, very dangerous if you were still sitting back here. So anyway, again, the you know, the rear engine machines now certainly much safer. You know, we'll say hello to Shirley Bodali right here. I guess a big supporter of Earnhardt there in the number 3, and here she is right here, and this is her drag racer. And this is a 2004 vintage car. You know, there's so many cars to see here, and we're going to do a very quick breeze through here shortly, but take a look at, this is one of these, this is a 1964 44 Streamliner, and this is a Mooneyham, Ferguson, Jackson, and Frost Streamliner. You know, here's another interesting full-bodied car, the 1966 AMT Piranha. And another Streamliner here. Great looking cars, and this has the Ed Pink racing engine in it. You know, here's a funny car that I remember from when I was a kid, very popular, the 1973 Don the Snake Perdome's Army 73 Cuda funny car. Great looking car, and you know, was just on a lot of magazines, magazine covers and so forth at the time, but a 1973 Cuda funny car. You know, here's another great funny car. This is an 82 Corvette. Doesn't really look like an 82 Corvette, but it is an 82 Corvette funny car, and that's why you call them funny cars, because they're kind of a funny variation of the factory car. But this is Tom the Mongoose McEwen's Coors 82 Corvette funny car. A couple newer funny cars here. This is a 1991 Dodge Daytona funny car driven by Daryl Alderman. You might remember him. Then we come back here to a very recognizable car, which would be a Mercury Capri funny car. And all the way back here to Ford Tempo funny car. And of course, this would have been normally a front-wheel drive car, but you know, as a funny car, it's front engine rear drive. You know, probably one of the most famous funny cars, of course, John Forrest's Castrol GTX Jolly Rancher fruit flavored candy funny car, and of course the Peak funny car right here. And we're going to take just a quick rundown here at some of these funny cars. The Pontiac Trans Am. This is a Ford Mustang here. This one right here is a Shirley Muldowney funny car, and I think this is a like a 72 or 73 Ford Mustang. And on and on. There's so much stuff here that you would have to spend a tremendous amount of time to cover the distance of just what all is here. Just a crazy amount. I mean, we got motorcycles. I mean, as far as you look, I couldn't talk about every car that's in here. Even like little junior dragsters right here. This guy has a full start right there. Some kind of a small engine, maybe a lawnmower engine, with of course the fuel injection blower scoop on it. And you just look at all this stuff, the Moon Eyes dragsters right here. Just a crazy amount of stuff. Just a crazy amount of stuff here. We'll just do a quicker move through and just keep going. As I said, I'd love to talk about everything, but I just can't. This is an interesting car here. We'll stop here for a second. This is a 1950s dragster powered by a V12 Allison aircraft engine. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you've got, I guess, 2 exhausts per cylinder and on the other side over there, you're going to have the same exhaust coming out the other side. You know, and this is a Max Wedge car. If you're familiar with the Max Wedge cars that Dodge built, they built about 25 of them specifically for drag racing. And this is a Dart 440, and it has the Ram Chargers 413 dual carburetor Max Wedge engine in it. So a factory drag racer here, and it's one of 25. Spend an entire day here at the Big Daddy Don Garlits drag racing museum. But I think that's give you a quick look around, kind of some of the early iterations of his first cars, for the Swamp Rabbit number 1 and 2, 3 and 4 on up into the 80s. So that's going to do it for us here at Classic Performance at Big Daddy Don Garlits and Kendall Motor Oil's Drag Racing Museum here in Ocala, Florida. So if you're ever in the Ocala area, stop by. You'll absolutely love this place. So that'll do it. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the programming, and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. Until next time, take care and have yourself a great day.